Welcome to China Horse Business, the one and only podcast focusing on the booming horse market in China, bringing to you by two experts of Chinese equine industry, Zoe King and Jojo Wang from Shanghai and Hong Kong, introducing China to the world. Hi Jojo, how's it going?
Well, it's still similar. Hong Kong is experiencing the peak of the fifth wave pandemic, but I'm sure it will get better soon. How are you?
Well, the spring is here. The equestrian competitions flourish everywhere. We also heard exciting news on horse racing and thoroughbred importation.
Great, let's break it down in today's China news session.
All right. On the March 1st, 75 thoroughbreds from Ireland landed in Shanghai for quarantine. They are 2 to 4 years old thoroughbred purchased by Yulong. It is the first charter flight of horses imported into China since the COVID situation, which caused a significant decrease of international flights and importation capacities.
Totally. Under the pandemic, only a small number of sport horses are being imported to China once in a while. This importation may have been benefit from Irish government support and negotiation with China. Nevertheless, it set a good reference for the following importation practice.
For sure. An interesting anecdote is we were contacted by the company in charge of the horse transportation, named Intraco Global, 1 week before the flight left Dublin. Because of the restriction of visa, only Chinese passport holders can fly with the horses to China in such a short notice. It is very difficult for foreigners to apply a business visa to China and even impossible for a travel visa at the moment.
So their only hope was to find several Chinese who wanted to return to China while taking care of 75 horses on the flight. We know many Chinese, especially students, are looking forward to fly back to China, but not booking a ticket. However, they should also be adept to take care of horses on plane for more than 10 hours. The choice were limited.
Luckily, everything seems to work out in the last minute. The horses are in China now.
Yulong has scheduled the 7th spring auction in the Yulong Auction Center on the 13th of May. This newly imported thoroughbred will probably be the fast and the best seller in the auction.
Definitely. They arrived just on time for sales and for races.
Okay, let's turn to the China Club session now. We are introducing an equestrian club in Guangzhou named Taijun Equestrian Club.
The club is located in Huangpu District, 40 minutes driving distance from the city center of Guangzhou. 2 outdoor arenas and 1 newly constructed indoor arenas, making the club the biggest one in Guangzhou. The club is surrounded by a mountainous landscape. It is well equipped with a multiple functional clubhouse suitable for different activities and sports.
The club is focusing on young rider training with several well-trained ponies. In addition, they actively participate in regional competition and will be hosting 4th national and regional tournament competition in 2022.
In today's China story, we will share the story and experience of Tonnie Verhee, a coach from Netherlands who has spent several months training Chinese riders at Helen Equestrian Club.
He provides us his answer to the questions. We will read it out here.
All right, the first question, what brings you to China?
I was invited by Mr. Martin Lips, the coach from the sport group of Highland Equestrian. It all feels like a big adventure for me. I had a great interest in the so-called New World. I am trained as a professional equestrian instructor and have a lot of experience. Besides that, I am very interested to know what is going on in the whole horse world in China. And how he answered the second question, what is your mission in Hainan?
My mission was to improve the riders and horses on their levels. I'm educated on the classic way of riding. That means that everything comes out of a correct riding position of riders and in accordance with the age and degrees of education. And that's what I try to give the riders and horses. The good thing was that I do not have to start from the soil. There already have been a couple of good Dutch trainers What was present also that I started in a team that was very well involved in Highland Equestrian, Amber Koopman and Joran Helmel. Because the coach was also busy with the team for the Olympics in Tokyo, I trained the rider who stayed home in jumping. The dressage part was the responsibility of Amber and Joran. They have each their own team of dressage riders. I was in charge of the jumping eventing team, which we trained towards the China Games.
For the last question, how do you evaluate Chinese rider and their levels? He said, and I quote, "When I look to my team of riders and place them in Dutch level, it is from B class to ZZ class in the group who did the show on Saturday. And when you look at jumping eventing, it is M/Z level, 1.25 to 1.35 classes. All the riders I work with were very enthusiastic about learning. It is very pleasant to see the student want to learn and absorb the information as the teacher. What also helps to evaluate is the fantastic place in Highland Stable, arena, good soil, an exceptionally good team of veterinarians and fantastic clinics, farriers. Everything is there to make it work. However, good instruction is needed to get the riders on a higher level."
Looks like Tony is very satisfied of his journey in China and would like to come back again.
I think so. Well, guys, if you want to check out on Hainan Equestrian mentioned by Tony, you can go back to our very first episode in season 2.
If you are a coach or certified instructors and you would like to look at some opportunities of working in China when international travel became possible again, please send us your CV to contact@wonder-horse.com. We'll keep you posted if any feedback.
Okay, Zoe, we have to go now.
Off we go now.
See you next week.
This podcast is co-hosted by Zoe King and Jojo Wang. Powered by Wonder Horse, a business solution provider focusing on Chinese equine market and a bespoke equine community in China.